All right, so let's start. We'll start with the chant. Please chant. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may the all-pervading spirit protect us. May the all-pervading spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be illuminating. May love and harmony dwell among us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. So all of we are studying now Katha Upanishad, and as so far we have seen that Naciketa had doubt about his father's ritual, the way he was doing it, and he wanted to know to whom his father is going to donate or gift. And so his father inadvertently sends him to the place of death, Yama, and Naciketa goes, waits there, Yama comes. Since Naciketa waited 3 days, Yama grants him, wants to give him 3 boons. And in the first boon, Naciketa asked for, let his father be at peace, let him recognize him, let there not be any negative feelings towards each other after he returns. Yama says, granted, your father will be in peace, he'll recognize you. Not only that, he will have good sleeps. Then in the second boon, Naciketa asks for is, he has heard that in the heaven, people are relatively happy and people are not afraid of death. And people there live much happier than they live in this plane. So how to go to that heaven? Tell me about the ritual which takes one to heaven. This far we have heard. Now Yama, as he had promised, I will give you 3 boons. Yama says, sure, I will talk to you about this fire that leads to heaven. But before stating that, explaining the fire, Yama wants to draw Naciketa's attention. Because what I am going to give you right now is extremely important. So to make the student or prepare the student for the upcoming message, Yama draws Naciketa's attention in the next verse. 1.14, verse number 14. Prate bravīmi tat ume nibodha. Svargyam agniṁ naciketaḥ prajānan. Ananta-loka-āptim atha pratiṣṭhām. Viddhi tam etam nihitam guhāyām. I shall now explain to you that because I know it. Listen carefully to me, O Naciketa, about the heaven-bound fire which leads to the attainment of infinite worlds and which is the firm foundation of the universe. Know this hidden in the cave of the heart. So he says many things to draw Naciketa's attention, quite a few things, so that Naciketa becomes extra attentive. First of all, Yama assures Naciketa that he has asked the question to the right person. What is the question? The question is how to go to heaven. So Yama says prajānan, that is, I know it quite well, having known it thoroughly. I know about that ritual which takes one to heaven. Now, that is the assurance. Yes, Naciketa assumed that Yama knows, and Yama also assures Naciketa, yes, prajānan, I know this well. Now, Yama calls the attention of Naciketa by saying two things. One is bravīmi. Bravīmi means I will now explain to you. Pra means, again, is a prefix. It means prakriṣṭhā, thoroughly, especially. I will tell you. I will tell you in details. I will explain you. I will thoroughly, I will explain all of this. So be careful about it. It's a rare thing. Especially, I will tell you. I will not only tell you, I will tell you specially. So please pay attention. And then he also uses another word, nibodha. Nibodha means knowing it well by paying attention. Bodha means knowing. Nibodha is, ni is another prefix. Here it means know it well by paying attention, by immersing yourself, by Sanskrit is niyojita. Put your full attention. Pay undivided attention to it. Okay. And we know that nowadays that is the biggest problem, paying undivided attention because of short attention span. So it appears Naciketa being a young boy, kid, he probably also had short attention span. Of course, not like this time, not like the way we are seeing it, attention span, very short attention span. But point is, Yama is telling that pay attention to it, otherwise you would not be able to grasp it. And then Yama, before talking about this fire ceremony, he glorifies this fire ritual. The fire ritual is called svargyam agniṁ. So he again glorifies it so that Naciketa becomes extra attentive. One is, I will tell you specially, listen. Then pay attention to know it well. Now, glorifying this fire ceremony, this fire ritual, he glorifies it. How? He says, ananta-loka-āptim pratiṣṭhām. This fire ceremony, if done perfectly, leads to the attainment of the heaven or infinite worlds. The infinite worlds, again, we have to remember, relatively infinite. Relatively infinite. It is not infinite in the truest term, but infinite in comparison to our relative life here. And ananta-loka-āptim pratiṣṭhām. Pratisṭhām means, I take the meaning leading to. If you look at the Sanskrit dictionary, the word pratisṭhā can mean several things. One means it may mean famous. It may mean leading to. It may mean standing firmly or foundation. So I take the meaning leading to. So ananta-loka-āptim pratiṣṭhām. This fire leads one to ananta-loka-āptim, towards attainment of the heavenly world. Okay. It leads to infinite worlds if done correctly. Shankaracharya has interpreted the word pratisṭhā as the firm foundation of the universe. Okay, so that is these he says that this fire ritual is the foundation of the whole universe. How is it? He explains that the fire that is in the fire of the ritual is the same fire principle which is present in everything of the universe. So one idea of Vedanta is everything is made up of 5 elements: fire, air, water, and space, and so on and so forth. So fire is everywhere. In that sense, Shankaracharya says that the fire of this ritual is also the fire which is in everything. In that sense, this fire ritual is the foundation of the universe. So I found it a bit convoluted way. Then I had the previous knowledge that pratiṣṭhā, the word pratiṣṭhām, has been used in different parts, other Upanishads, as in the sense of that leads to, which is the means to something, a goal. So I took that interpretation, pratiṣṭhām, and it became straightforward that, well, Naciketa, the fire ceremony I am talking to you about now is the means. This is the one that leads one to heaven. Okay, this is the point. And not only that, Yama adds another important element. He says that viddhi etam nihitam guhāyām. Know that this truth is hidden in the cave of the heart. In the cave of the heart. What does it mean? It means the know-how of this fire ceremony, what it is, how to perform it, what are the steps, and all of this is a secret only to a handful of people. It is kind of a treasure which is hidden, locked inside the cave of only few people. That fire ceremony I am now going to tell you. So this verse is the introductory verse of the conversation that went between Yama and Naciketa about the fire ritual. And so we would expect that now we will hear all about the fire rituals, how it needs to be done. But again, frustration, Upanishad does not say anything about what transpired between them. Only we come to know in the next verse that Yama explained to Naciketa everything about the fire ritual, and Naciketa repeated back to Yama. That is to mean that Naciketa has understood the fire ritual. Okay, and he repeats it so well, he grasps it so well, remembers everything about it so well that Yama becomes extra happy. And so he gives an extra boon to Naciketa. Okay, that we shall hear. Any question about this verse? Okay, no question about this verse. Let's move on to the next one.
Maharaj, one quick question. Why is it hidden in the cave of the heart?
Cave of the heart here it means that it is known to only a few people. It is a secret. Okay. It was not known to all. Okay. . sharing. I was going to share. Okay. Lokādīm agniṁ tam uvāca tasmai. iṣṭakāḥ yāvatīḥ va yathā va. Sacha api tat pratyavadat yathā uktam. Atha asya mṛtyuḥ punaḥ eva aha tuṣṭaḥ. Yama explained to Naciketā the fire that is the foundation of the heavenly worlds, describing what bricks to use, how many, how they should be arranged. Naciketā repeated it just as it had been taught. Then death, being pleased, again spoke to him. So this is the frustration. We don't know what transpired between them about the fire Agni, but it is said that Yama, the ritual, he teaches the following, what we find from the verse, that the types of bricks that are needed to build the altar of the ritual or the fire pit, the homakunda, fire pit of the ritual, and the number of such bricks to be used, and how the fire is to be arranged, how to procure the firewood, how it should be piled up, how to lit up, etc. So all of these are essential to the ritual itself. What will be the shape of the fire pit? That will be decided by what type of ritual, and what will be the size of the fire pit. These are intricate calculations. You will be surprised that there is a a text called Shulbha Sutras. Shulbha Sutras are, these are aphorisms on geometry. And this geometry was developed around fire ritual. Fire ritual, geometry, trigonometry, all of these basic principles of geometry and mensuration, arithmetic, and trigonometry were developed in connection with the drawing of the fire altar, related to all of these. These are called Shulbha Sutrani. They are fundamental principle of geometry. So it only tells about how dominant the culture was, how dominant the fire ritual was in that part of the world and during that time. That even a entire science of geometry started because of this. And in fact, I think this is not unique to Vedic culture. In many places, many of the technologies and science actually evolved around many religious customs and religious rituals. So, in fact, Yuval Noah Harari, he says that when religion in the Middle Ages or so, the most happening places were religious institutions, because all the books were being copied by these the people who were closely attached to religious institutions, publication and all, where then art and culture all evolved around religion, and gradually that is taking a fading away. Religion is not producing anything new, not contributing anything new. Earlier, religion contributed to the art, culture, music, and even science. We see even fundamentals of science, but gradually, religion is not so much producing anything unique or new anything, innovative. So Yama Yama explains all of these, and number of bricks and size of the bricks, etc. These are only very limited description. There is so much more details for the sacrifice itself. All of them are not mentioned. They just, as a token, they are mentioning how many bricks to be used, how they should be arranged, and all of this. So he says all of this to Naciketa. Naciketa, then what he does? Naciketa repeated all of the Lord teaching, just he has been taught. So he is brilliant. He observes everything that was taught to him. This is one quality of Naciketa. It is called in Sanskrit Medha Shakti. Medha. Medha means not just intelligence, it means grahana and dharana Shakti. Grahana means to conceptualize whatever we being taught, able to grasp it. And dharana is also important. Dharana means retention. So what happens, many things we understand for the moment, but we don't retain it. We cannot retain it. In the course of time, we forget about it unless again we encounter the idea, oh, okay, yeah, now I remember. So grahana and dharana Shakti, not only Naciketa grasped, but he also retained. That's why he could repeat it back. So Yama, atha mṛtyuḥ tuṣṭaḥ, then death, being pleased with Naciketa's medha, grants one extra boon. Since Naciketa could do it so well, understood all the intricacies of the ritual, and verbatim, it was not a written document, right? All was verbal. So he heard, understood, and also repeated it back. So Yama was extremely happy with that. So happy, he said that I will grant you one extra boon. In fact, we see that although he says, I'll give you one extra boon, actually he gives two. Actually, he gives extra two boons, apart from the three boons promised. Okay. What is that extra boon? In the next verse. Any question about this?
Swami, could I ask a question about, this is in Lokeshwarananda's commentary, that Yama told Naciketa that fire was the first world, the first embodied existence. And then later he says, Agni is fire, but not the fire we use. It's the source of everything, including ordinary fire. I guess just help me understand what does he mean there?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is in that in that line which I mentioned in the previous verse, that the fire that is present in that fire is also present in all the other elements, other things, other stuff of the world. That is one line of thinking. Okay, so we can skip it. We can skip it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Rick.
Hi. Our friend just kind of spoke what I was thinking. Now, I'm going to ask you, so we call this fire in the ceremony, the name, the English, the Sanskrit word for the fire is agni?
Yes.
Now, in the knowledge, I think now, the first word in the Veda is agni.
Agniṁ. Yes.
Yeah, agniṁ. So what does agniṁ mean?
Agniṁ purohitam. I cannot tell right now. Okay, I have to go back to it. Okay. Agniṁ is fire. Agnimile, what does it mean? I frankly speaking, I cannot recall right now. Was it your question? Just this one?
That was it.
Okay. I'll get back to you in our next class.
Maharaj, one more question. This thing
Yeah.
about repeating verbatim,
Yeah.
there are different capacities. Some people you have to repeat, you have to tell them once and they remember. Some people twice, thrice. So ek party, dvipati, tripati, like that.
No. I don't think parthi means that. Parthi means how many times they have or how many Vedas they have mastered. Okay.
Like some people you have to tell them more time, not just once, but few more times for them to remember. They don't remember just at once.
Yeah, prime example is you. you have to be told several times.
Swami,
Yes, Paul.
what I like about all that is it really brings you back to the pre-literate oral transmission of all this information. Their didactic technique would be to get the student to the point where they can repeat it back and also explain it. So before anything
Right.
was written down, this was the manner of transmitting the knowledge.
Yeah.
So this verse kind of paints a picture of what that looked like back in that time.
Yeah. So until you get it, I'll be keep on telling you, right? You have to tell me back exactly. Until you can do that, I'll be keep on repeating, right? Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh, yeah. Rick, go ahead. Rick, you want to ask anything? All right. So, being happy, pleased with Naciketā, Yama gives one extra boon, actually two extra boons. Tvam abravīt priyamanaha mahatma varam te iha adya dadami bhūyaha tava eva namna bhavita ayam agnihi shrinkam cha imam aneko rupam grihana. The great souled one, pleased, said to Naciketā, this day I grant you yet another boon. This sacred fire shall henceforth be known by your name, and accept this gem-studded garland. Okay. So what he says, not only he's being happy with, so he's the great soul, Mahatma. Yama is being called the generous one. Generous one. Pleased with the performance of Naciketā, he gave him two extra gifts. He says that henceforth, this ritual, this fire ritual, which was known as Sargam Agniṁ, will be known as Naciketā Agni. And also, he gifts Naciketā a necklace with various gems and jewels. But later on in the second chapter, we will find that Naciketā returns this garland. This garland Yama gives now as an extra gift, but later on we will find out, some verses later, Naciketā gives it back. He says, I don't need all of this. All I need is the wisdom. Keep all of this with you. Okay. So that's it. Yama says that fire. This fire will be named after you, and also take this necklace. Then next verse he says that, and Yama also says that he praises this fire, Naciketā Agni. Henceforth, it will be called Naciketā Agni, Naciketā fire. And those who will perform this Naciketā fire 3 times, they will transcend all of this. Those who will perform Naciketā fire 3 times, they will transcend all the sufferings and they will get infinite peace. But not only the fire ceremony 3 times, but there are some other conditions too. If someone fulfills this, and also performs the Naciketā fire 3 times, then they transcends the death and birth and attains infinite freedom, infinite peace. So what are the conditions that need to be fulfilled? That is in the next verse. Naciketaḥ tribhihi etya sandhim trikarmakrit tarati janma mṛtyuḥ brahmaja gam devam idyam viditva nichayo imam shantim attantam eti. Oh, where is the translation? I'm sorry. One who kindles the Naciketā fire 3 times, having been instructed by the 3, and who performs the 3 prescribed duties, transcends the cycle of birth and death, having realized the adorable Lord who is in the fire, who is born of Brahman, and having meditated upon it with concentration, one attains supreme and everlasting peace. A lot of things to unpack from this verse. Yes. So Yama says that not only performing this ritual, but some other conditions to be met. What are the things? One said, having come in contact with 3 sources of instruction. The word is sandhim. Sandhi means connection, junction, but in this context, it means having good relationship and with three types of people, or having been well instructed by 3 types of people, or having received proper guidance from 3 types of people. Who are the 3? So Shankaracharya explains that 3 types of people, instructed by 3 types of people, means one is instructed by mother, who is the earliest and most intimate influencer in the baby's life. So mother's instruction, often non-verbal, shapes the child's psychological health, and also, how secure the child feels, how and whether it trusts others or not, or emotional health of the child is dependent upon the mother. So if a person who has been well instructed or been influenced well by their mother, that is one. Second, instructed or influenced well, guided well by father. Father typically presents authority and discipline, all of these other values, and his life itself teaches the child about responsibility and the things one should do, one should not do, all of these things. So in the traditional teachings settings of the Upanishadic time, the father was often the first religious teacher until they go to the third influencer, that is teacher. So they used to live in Gurukula system. The child lived as an antevashi. Antevashi means a resident student in the guru's tutelage. So they used to learn from their gurus classes, but uh, also seeing, observing the teacher's life, how guru, the teacher could have subtle influence, how the teacher spoke, how they conducted themselves, and how they responded to stress or joy or crises, all became a living model for the student. So, indeed, also we find that even studies, modern studies of psychology, they are saying that the children are very much shaped by their parents as well as teachers. Mother's love, father's guidance, and teacher's presence so are like a tripod, three limbs of a tripod together they holding up for the maturity of the children. Yama says that one who has been instructed well by the three, by instructed well by mother, or taught well by the mother, taught well, guided well by father, and the immersive learning in Gurukula. That is, in modern system, we go to the school only for a few hours and uh, we get instructions and come back. But the Gurukula system is where they used to live closely with the teachers, so that not only the oral part or teaching, but also the conduct, life of the teachers influenced a lot. So Yama says one who has been instructed well by the three. Interestingly, just 2 weeks ago, The Atlantic published an article about how much of our character and personality can be attributed to our parents. And it is very interesting that 50% of our personality depends upon directly to the our parents. Genetics. 50% of our personality is related to the genetics of our parents. Many of our traits we inherit genetically, but 50% is also environmental, like the kind of environment we grow up. It is, so very much. And also they found that um, how how the parents cope with stress when facing difficulties, how the parents cope with the difficulties, how they tackle the difficulties, stress. That is the pattern children learn from the very beginning, how to deal with stress. Um, so if parents fight and during problems, instead of respectfully listening to each other, children also learns that when there is stress, fight, shout, fight, and all of these. Interestingly, there is such a experiment also happened in Stanford, the Bobo doll experiment, that children learned how adults behaved with a doll. A doll were kept, and the children learned. The children some children saw that the adults coming and hugging the doll, and some children saw the adults coming out of frustration hitting the doll. So children who saw the adults hitting the doll, next time onwards, they started hitting the doll. So it was a part of the experiment to show that we learn our coping mechanism from our parents. From our parents. I don't want to go into much details. So here, Yama is also telling that those who have been well instructed by the three, by mother's influence, father's influence, and teacher's influence, that is one condition. Second condition is three karma krit, one who performs three fundamental duties. What are the three fundamental duties? One is yajna, second is sadhaya dana. Yajna is sacrifice or ritual worship. This is to create a connection between me and the divine. Yajna, okay? Yajna concept is there is a cosmic something going on. How I participate in that cosmic play. So by offering oblations into the fire, I acknowledge my gratefulness as I am a part of this cosmic process. Okay, this is yajna. The whole idea of yajna was this: a cosmic process is going on, a cosmic activism is going on, and how I can take part in it by way of my as a token of my gratitude, gratefulness, because I exist in this cosmos, I am offering something in the fire and to the best of my capacity. That is yajna. And this yajna could mean the daily fire ritual, not a special fire ritual like Naciketā agniṁ, but a daily fire ritual morning and evening to connect this, holy connection or sacredness. It could also mean the 5 mahayajna, that 5 types of sacrifices one should do every day. That is, one is this deva yajna, like fire ritual, then pitru yajna, offering something for the ancestors, remembering the good things the ancestors did for us. Third is manushya yajna, that is giving something, doing something for other human beings. And then there was pashu, that is feed the animals, take care of the animals. And 5 was rishi yajna. Rishi yajna is what? The cultivation of knowledge. Okay, all the sages and scholars, whatever they have contributed, their wisdom and knowledge, information, we honor that. How we honor that? By ourselves taking part in this study, ourselves taking part in nurturing knowledge. That is a great sacrifice. That is a kind of yajna. That is kind of a yajna. That is study itself is a yajna. Of course, it is mentioned here that the second type, the 3 types of deeds, second one is also mentioned as sadhaya. Okay, first is yajna. Yajna is to connect with, do something with the divine. Sadhaya is about myself. Study the scriptures, then reflect on it, and trying to incorporate the teachings into our own life. That is the real meaning of sadhaya. Sadhaya does not simply meaning that I am reading, but I am reading as well as reflecting, assimilating, and trying to find out where I am lacking. That is sadhaya. Okay. In other words, introspection, daily reflection is also part of sadhaya. Okay. And third is dana, charity. Whatever we can do to others. We read in a few verses ago, like purta, putta karma, like creating wells for others, or places, drinking fountains, or shelter for needy, all of these. These are all part of charity. So Yama says, one who has been instructed well by the three, mother, father, and teacher, as well as one who has done daily, the yajna, that is, we connect with the divine, then sadhya, study, daily reflection and study, and finally charity for others around us. When they do these three naciketaḥ, this fire ritual, three times, they go to heaven. So 3 times, three naciketaḥ. Three naciketaḥ means literally three naciketaḥ. Three naciketaḥ. And so there is scope of interpretation. Whether it is 3 times, so Shankaracharya says that no, here three might mean that one who has read the fire ritual, studied the fire ritual, understood the fire ritual, and performed the fire ritual. These three things. Simply doing the ritual without understanding won't do anything. Okay. Simply studying won't do. Simply studying and understanding won't do. Three Naciketaḥ means one who has studied the fire ritual, understood the fire ritual, and performed the fire ritual. That can be one interpretation of three Naciketaḥ. Another interpretation can mean one who has done this fire ritual 3 times. Now, 3 times a day, 3 times a day, or in his whole lifetime, that is also a question. So some interpretation, one who does this fire ritual 3 times a day for 3 stages of life. That is, when they were a student, they were householder, and finally, when they were forest dwellers. They had to do this fire ritual 3 times a day during these 3 phases of life. They reach the heaven. Okay, so we take the simplified explanation. One who has done the Naciketa fire 3 times in their lifetime. What happens to them? Not only that, Brahmajagam devam idam nichaya. And not only having done the fire ritual, but those who have concentration, meditation on what? The deity of the fire. Deity of the fire. Those who have not only performed the ritual, but those who have nichaya, having meditated on the deity that the fire represents. And this deity of the fire, it has been called Brahmaja. That is, it is born out of that Brahman. This fire is nothing but born out of this ultimate reality. And it is Devam. Devam means shining one. The deity of the fire is the shining one. And Idyam, adorable one. So one who not only does this Naciketa fire ritual 3 times, but who meditates on the deity of the fire with concentration, and then only meditation, no, viddhi, one who has realized the unity, their unity, oneness with this fire after deep meditation. So here, suddenly the shift, you look at it from doing to realizing, meditating. One who can meditate on, then what happens to them? One transcends birth and death. So it is temporarily going to heaven is long lasting. So as long as our good merits are there, are not exhausted, we live in the heaven. So in that sense, it is called that they transcend the death and birth. Not only that, they attain supreme peace. supreme peace means here also relatively more peaceful heaven. It is free from many other troubles. Okay, many other troubles. So this verse says that one who have been instructed well by three, one who has done three types of uh, daily activities, one who has done this Naciketaḥ fire three times, and one who has realized their oneness with this fire in meditation. In meditation, they transcend the death and birth, and they attain supreme peace. Okay, so this is a glorification of the fire sacrifice itself. It does not mean this is the highest. Okay, so the point of any scripture is such a thing called arthavada. When something is being praised, it will be praised in such a way that for the time being, that thing will appear to be the most lucrative thing. Okay. We have found in, say, when we read Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada said that Bhakti eva gariyasi. Bhakti is the best. And so also in other part of the Upanishad, we'll find this is the best. One who knows this, they attain everything. So that has to be taken with some amount of salt when they say it. But the point is to glorify something. They always Upanishad says that it leads to the highest peace. It leads to the immortality. But we have to remember this immortality, this peace, this infinitude the Upanishad is speaking about is all relative. Very soon they will say that even heavens and all of these are very secondary. The main point is to realize the reality here and now. Here and now. Okay. So this is glorification of. So to sum up today's discussion, Naciketa asks for the second boon, which was how to go to the heaven. And Yama says, yes, I know well this svargyam agniṁ, this fire ritual that takes one to heaven. But pay attention, I am going to tell you in details. And nibodha, that is, pay attention, immerse yourself in this knowledge. Yama also says that this is the doorway to the heaven, and this secret is known to only a few. Then Yama gave the instructions which Upanishad omits, but briefly Upanishad mentions that the instructions were about how to build the fire pit, how to build the altar of the sacrifice, and these other details. Naciketa too understood well, grasped them well, and repeated after him, after Yama, all that he learned. So Yama was extremely impressed that Naciketa could grasp it. So Yama said, I'm so happy with your learning that I give you two extra boons. One is, we have not got to that portion, right? The extra, yes, two extra boon. One is, this fire will be known henceforth by your name. So this fire, which was earlier called svargyam agni, now it will be called Naciketaḥ agni in your name. Secondly, not only that, second thing is, I give to you right now here this very gem-studded necklace. It's a precious with so many jewels and costly items. Take this necklace. Okay. And then Yama says that, another glorification of this fire, that one who does this fire ceremony 3 times, they reach heaven. They transcend death and birth. They attain peace. They reach heaven. But not only doing this fire ceremony 3 times, but with full understanding. Full understanding. That is one thing. Secondly, one who has been instructed well by the 3 parents and teacher, and one who has the daily life, who has in their daily life, they have practiced some ritual, some ritual and some study and reflection, and some amount of charity. So these people, when they do with complete understanding, complete immersion, or completely engaged with this ritual, if they do 3 times, they go to heaven. Okay. Question: what did the necklace represent? Well, there is an interpretation that this necklace can also mean various results of actions. Okay. Various results of actions, which are sometimes good, sometimes bad. That also may mean take all the results of your action. Necklace, that is one interpretation. What is the ritual used to be called earlier? Easy question. Someone asked, now that the ritual is being called Naciketā Agni, what was the name earlier?
Svargyam Agni.
Svargyam Agni, yes. We came across 2 verses earlier. Svargyam Agni. Okay. Problem of retention. Dharana, grahana shakti. Yes.
Swamiji,
Yes.
we talk about the parent and teacher influence. The teacher here means guru. Yes. Spiritual guru.
Right.
Right. So in most cases these days, in Vedic Kali, the spiritual guru came in youngster life earlier when they went to the ashram, the guru's ashram, right? And, but now in these days, in most cases, guru comes much later in life.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a spiritual practice and thinking, and then guru appears much later in life. So this just wanted to share. What do you think about a guru appearing later in the life?
True, exactly. There's many aspects to it, what you said. Now, teachers have replaced the role of the guru. Teachers we go to. And in fact, much of our life is really shaped by our teachers.
When you say
what?
When you say teacher, do you mean like school teachers?
Yes, of course. Even they matter. They matter.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they matter a lot. I know quite a bit of many of you are teachers, and how does it feel like when an old student shows up, suddenly, and you remember, sir, madam, or Mr. or Mrs. You in our class, you once told this. You might have forgotten, but for example, Chuck, who is my friend, he was a teacher in a school, and he told me that last Sunday he went for a lunch to someone invited him for lunch to a restaurant, and he went, and the waiter suddenly, happily came towards Chuck and said, Mr. Chatton, do you remember I was your student? And one day you did this, and that influenced me so much. I have still remembered. And Chuck said, I forgot that I did it. But when he said all, I recalled. The point is, teachers also very much shape our character. very much shape our character. Not only gurus, but in such teachers.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maharaj,
Yes.
you can have multiple teachers. It doesn't have to be one teacher.
Yeah.
Teacher,
Yes.
guru.
Yeah. Multiple teachers.
Yeah.
For example, as you attend so many classes like Boston class, San Diego class, right? Washington, D.C., every class you attend, similarly, one can have several teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in this case, in Naciketa's case,
Yeah.
we don't see example of 3 teachers because his father was giving negative influence. We don't hear anything about his mother. Abhina was his teacher. So that in this case, there was exception. 3 about teacher.
No, it is not exception in his case. Yama said that it's a one who does this, but Naciketa won't have to do any of this. First of all, yeah, and secondly, we should not jump to conclusion that Naciketa's father's one mistake means Naciketa did not learn anything from his father. Okay. It is just one instance, but maybe he learned all of these other things, this uprightness and the shraddha and remaining cool and calm in the face of temptation. All of this he learned from his father, probably. So only we should not judge about only one instance. And secondly, also we also have to take the second point of view that he was doing a sacrifice where he was supposed to give away all he had. So all he had meant good as well as bad cows. So he was giving away all he had. Okay. So we need not jump that Naciketa was badly influenced by his father. It will be wrong. Yes, Purni.
I'm reading this other interpretation, Swamiji, where they talk about the 3 great influences, the mother, father, and the teacher. And then also, I mean, it's like also it could be that the 3 may refer to the 3 sources of knowledge. That is the direct experience, pratyaksha pramana, inference or anumana pramana, or words of the wise, or agama pramana. So, maybe the 3 could also mean that, because this is all like, we are taking those 3 that's said in this verse, and very often it could mean so much more, right?
Right. Totally.
But it's all the understanding.
Yeah. The point is the case in favor of the father, mother, and teacher, because Upanishad, there is one statement exactly like this, that one wise person is one who has been instructed well by 3, and the 3 are there. It is explicitly mentioned: the father, the mother, and the teacher. So when we say that these 3 means father, mother, and teacher, the reference is from Upanishad. Yeah, exactly. All right. So now almost second boon is over. One verse more about praising these words, and then Yama will ask for Yama will ask Naciketa to go for the third boon that we shall see. Okay. All right. So let's conclude here then today. Okay. So all of you stay safe. It's a hot weekend. Temperature rising high. And see you next week.
Meditation, Maharaj?
Today we are skipping the meditation. Okay? All right. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, 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 peace be unto all.